This is Tracy Kelly. I'm back for part 2, and I just moved it over. So feasibility of program evaluation, we're on growth STEM again, and I've listed here F1 project management, agree on goals and objectives, which is what we learned. We did learn that we basically did a fairly good job of agreeing on the goals and objectives, which was nice. Obviously, we just could have dug much deeper into it. And I've got F2 practical procedures. Did we meet their needs? I believe we met the needs of the evaluation as it was set up, which I think was very limited. But we met the needs of what they wanted, which was to know, are the teachers, cooperating teachers, being prepared enough? Are the mentor teachers learning? And then is there are they meshing pretty well within the classroom? What was challenged? F3, contextual viability. Did we know the culture? I know I mentioned it the last one, but that culture was such a big issue that I don't believe we did. And then F4, I've got resource use. Did we use any? We did not use any resources. So this is a pseudo evaluation. We obviously didn't do a lot with the limited time we had and resources and access. So I think the culture, once again, was the biggest challenge. And how would you practice be impacted moving forward? Obviously, discussions, time spent listening, interviewing, talking to people, making sure the goals are agreeable with all the parties involved. Because it's the whole point of evaluation is to make the program better. And if it's already great, no big deal. If it's got major flaws, I would want to know earlier, and I would like, if I'm going to do an evaluation, let the program itself know sooner than later on this. Okay, so going on to propriety of program evaluation, I've got response to inclusion orientation. This is and then we only spoke to one. P2, formal agreements. Let's go with yes. P3, human rights and respect, without a doubt. And then P6, conflicts of interest, and there were none to report on that. So what was learned is, make sure that what was learned was that we respected their human rights. There was no doubt. The people we spoke to, and even the people that returned their surveys, there was no encroachment on their rights and respectfulness. What was affirmed is that, but also that we've got this sounds like I'm going forward as well. We learned that we respected their human rights. There's no doubt about that. It was affirmed that we had no conflicts of interest, and if we had any, we would have written about them. And then what was challenging? Formal agreements. I don't recall us having an IRB. Doesn't mean we didn't. Doesn't mean that the program that Dr. Schultz didn't get us one, and I just don't remember. There could be there's a lot of variables in that one. And then how to practice being moved forward. We need to speak to more people once again. We need to verify and make sure that we have an IRB and formal agreements. Continue to respect them and their place and their rights, and then obviously conflicts of interest to make sure that those are dealt with. Otherwise, you have a problem. So accuracy of program evaluation. A1, justified conclusions and decisions. What I've written here is when you only have one, it's pretty simple. So, it's learned that need to do a more thorough job and make sure that your conclusions and decisions are justified based on the program, but also on all your stakeholders. A3, I've got reliable information. Obviously, we had data collection and analysis that we feel was pretty strong. A5, information management, password protected, everything locked and safe and secure, no big deal. And that was affirmed as well. What was challenged? Communication and reporting. As I've written here, we only have one report to one. When you only report to one person, you can handle it. We only had to report to one, and that made it so much more simple, but also not as thorough as it could have been. So I'm going to send this one and move on to the next.